All right, today we're going to take a look at pixel art using Google Spreadsheet. In order to work on that, the first thing that we want to do is go to our Google Drive. We're going to click on New, and we're going to go right here, Google Sheets. When we click on Google Sheets, it's going to open up a spreadsheet. So now what we want to look at when we have a Google spreadsheet is these tables are already set up for us. So we can manipulate them by changing the way they look and how they're formatted. So the first thing I want to do is, if we're going to use pixel art, we want pixel art to be small squares. So by clicking underneath of the FX in the box right here, notice everything highlighted. Now all I have to do is grab any line between the letters A and B, grab the line, it turns into a line with arrows, slide that in to create squares. Notice all of the lines moved at the same time. The next thing that we want to do is we want to go to our document here and we want to tell it to format. When we format something, we want to be able to now format conditions. The conditional formatting will allow us to tell it, when I pick 1, this is what color it's going to be. When I pick 2, this is what color it's going to be. So I click on my conditional formatting and it lines up for me right over here. So now that I have my conditional formatting, it tells me A1, top left corner, to Z1000. So it goes 1000 cells down. Don't worry about that. Let's just leave it the way it is. Now, right in here, it says format cells if. So I want to say if the cell is equal to, so I pick equal to the number 1, I want it to be a certain color. So if I say I want it to be black, then every time I type the number 1 on my document, it turns to black. And so if I want this to be my eyes for a face, I can go ahead and do that. Now, a little shortcut is I can also click one time, and I know that I want this cell to be over 3, so I can go to this little corner and I can drag it over 3, and then I can drag it down 3, and I don't have to keep typing 3 that many times. If you want to go through and add an eye, and I want that eye to be white, I could have left that space blank, or what I can do is go over to my formatting right here and say add. I add another one that says every time I type the number 2, it's going to be white. So I click in the middle and I say 2, click in the middle and I say 2. So if you want to get rid of your numbers, you have to make your numbers match the same color as your background. So if I click in the box and I say, okay, I want number 2, I go right up here where it says my text color and I tell it to be white, and then it goes away. So every time I type that, I have to tell it to do that. The black didn't show up because the black is already black font color. So now if I want to continue down through and add other shapes, I want to add a nose. Let's say I want to make my nose a different color. So I want to say I add a new rule. And every time I add a new rule, notice it still says A to that, A to Z. And now I change my number to number 3. And it allows me, now I can change it to a different color. So let's say I want this to be the color of my nose. So for my nose, I'm going to go 3, 3. And now remember, I can also just, if I want this to go down a few, I can just grab the whole column of 3s. So go to that little corner and write it down. The other option is, of course, to type 3s all the time. I have a big nose, apparently. All right, so there's my nose. Again, if I want the colors to go away, I can change all of my font in here, highlight all of the things that I want, and the colors will go away. So if I go across the 3, that's the color I have, so I pick the same color and the numbers go away. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to continue this and we'll be back in a second.